Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Still fighting with the telephone situation. Lost the telephone. Can't get any texts. Can't really communicate with anybody. But it will be up and running anywhere from 3 hours to 24 hours. So that's the way it rolls. So Giannis, if you've been trying to contact me, it's because I've lost my telephone. All right, let's get up on the system. There we go. And that looks pretty good. Let's get the spreadsheet there. Right there. There we go. And go like that. And go like that. Cool. There we are. And this morning, what do we have? Let's see, what do we have? Looking at Facebook. There it is. And then let's go over to here and take a look at, do we have the dollar index up there? No, let's get the dollar index up there and see what the dollar is doing today. Yesterday, it was a holiday in the States, so we were really sideways in the sense of, it's hard to trust the data. We always steer clear of that, and then we try to decipher if we can figure out if there was a move or not a move. You can see it right there. They have an actual second right there right now. By the end of the day, going into tomorrow, it'll remove that. The system does it itself when they realize that it wasn't really a trading day, and so they kind of just make it a little confusing. You can see you can see, why don't we have a line there? Let's put a line in there. We went into a buy, I guess, and let's look on the spreadsheet too at the same time just to confirm it. And there it is right there. Yeah, we're 3 days in a daily buy, 8 weeks in a sell. You can see that right there on the dollar index. And so because they're putting Tuesday in there, it's making it look like there's 5 days when in fact there's just 4 trading days as far as I can tell. It'll straighten out. And so that's the close day yesterday for us. You were open. And we did the webinar. And it was a good webinar, But, matter of fact, what was fascinating, what I talked about, we looked really close at the Shanghai index. We were using the other beta yesterday. We used both betas yesterday actively. And the Shanghai, I was saying, is threatening to take out the lows, that type of thing, going after a 1 year low. And now the headline today was Shanghai 7-month low. So in other words, it's I was saying it looks like it wants to go after that 1 year low. Sure enough, they're all starting to pay attention to it. And it is really hard to tell sometimes what is the what's the motivations, you know what I mean? I mean, you can tell economically China's having its problems. Matter of fact, I saw Huawei, I guess it's Huawei, the China telephone company, challenging Apple now. So, hey Robin, I tried calling you on the landline. That's how it worked. Hey traders, hello traders. So Huawei is challenging Apple now internationally. So you build warehouses over there, you build facilities, and then I guess they go, remember it's not a capitalist society, so it's not like some organization is challenging you like they do, in Samsung and so forth, Motorola, whatever. But in a communist nation, supposedly it's only the government running everything. So all of a sudden, government creates a Chinese telephone company, and now they probably told Apple, we'll never bother you. This is just domestic. Now Huawei's trying to go international. So probably the same identical technology too. They have a habit of stealing technology over there. So you have to wonder, how close it will be to be like an Apple phone, and they'll sell it for nowhere near the same price. I'd imagine we may see some pressure on the Apple stock. That would be well worth looking at. Let me see. Where is Apple? There it is. It's down $1 for today. That means nothing. So, but that probably is an issue. You know, when you really think about it, that is going to be an issue, and that just makes China even weaker. And you know, I was mentioning how they were here for a bailout 2 weeks ago. Nobody seems to have carried that story too much more than me and you know, a few other situations. But you don't hear anything about Mrs. Yellen meeting with, you know, that's our Secretary of Treasury, or for most of you in parliamentary systems, that is the Minister of Finance. And the Chinese delegation came here to meet with her. So obviously, you know, that's the story of bailout. All right, let's go to, now that we've seen the dollar index and it's showing some strength, obviously there's pressure on the other products, you know, the euro or something like that. So we go down the spreadsheet, and you can see there's the spreadsheet on the euro. 7 weeks in a buy, 3 days in a sell there. You can see the same thing with cable. It's in a couple weekly buys, 2 weeks, and 3 days also in a sell. So let's take a look at them individually. And there's the euro. You see that there's, now we're saying, you know, because it was international trading, so what the hell? So then you can see here, you know, that long weekly buy going on. So there's 3, and then there's 6, and that's 7. So I guess it's oh no, it's 8. That's what it is. It's 8 days in the buy, weeks in the buy, going on 9. Should be, where's it at? Let me just double check. Yeah, it says 7, so it should be 8. So there's 3, there's 6, there's 7, and there's 8. So it should be 8. Should not. Let me fix it over here. I've put 2 spreadsheets up. One you can see, one you can't. And this way, when I see a problem, I can adjust it now, which is nicer than me trying to remember it later on. Yeah. All right. Let's see. There it is right there. Here we are. And let's see. This did that. Let's do this. There we go. All right. All taken care of. Now we have 8 weeks in there going on 9, which is fine with me. Here we are. Huh. All right. So what do we got here? There we go. All right. So then from there we go over to the cable. I just saw something up on the financial channel that just caught my eye. All right. Let's get up the British pound right there. You see that same situation, and it's going on. Now that's accurate. That's, you know, 2 weeks in. So now we are on the 3rd week there. So that makes total sense. There we are. All right. You can see the cable having that same situation, and it's a shallow sell. I mean, you know, it's not like they're doing a, you know, and they have been kind of shallow. You see that here, yeah, very soft, and then it, you know, lifts up and so forth and so on. So, let's see what else we got going on there. I guess that's the best way to describe it at this point. There we are. And at the same time, you know, we're looking at even more. Where's it at? There it is. Let's put the 4th in there. So cable's not really making any, you know, the currencies are not really moving that aggressively. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, just a little dead cat bounce type stuff. We'll see. But when you're in a weekly buy and you get into those daily sells, you know that they're going to be shallow. If they're not shallow, then they lead to a weekly sell, and vice versa. But when you've been in a weekly buy and you slide into a little daily sell, a lot of times it's usually just like a profitable thing. You'll know because you'll see a bigger move, and that'll start to warn you, and then you'll see like the weekly dipping down. In this case here, you can see the weekly is actually lifting even up higher than the week before right there. And so the daily sell there is just not as strong. All right. Now from there, we march over to, let's see, where is that? Right there. There we are. There is the Swiss. You can see that. You can see that's the strength in the Swiss, which is negative, of course. In other words, when the Swiss goes up, it's losing against the dollar. And so let's just grab one of these buys. There it is. You can see the weekly is trying to move up also right there. I have to, I mean, they've done a great job of fighting the inflation in Switzerland. And so, there's a little profit taking going on. They're probably figuring, okay, we made some good money here. We knew the Swiss bank was going to succeed at what they do. Like I said, it would be really good if we had a couple of Swiss bankers on our Federal Reserve, because they seem to, not get caught up in the hyperbole and the politics. They seem to just march along. Victor, how you doing today? How'd you like that yesterday? I showed you how the DAX and so forth are on their indices themselves. It's nice to to see the actual. So I can show you DAX and FTSE and things like that too now. Bitcoin really comes up nice on the cash. I love the Bitcoin, and there might be an Ethereum. I'll have to check that out. There might be an Ethereum while we're looking at too. So I hope you had a nice had a weekend. I had a long weekend, so I can't complain. Life was good. Let's see. From there, unless anybody wants to see anything, I will jump over to the yen. And there's the yen. And you can see the yen there. It's going into that buy, moving up a little bit, but they've had such a nice move down from the 61 area down to the 41 area that you got to imagine there should be some consistent profit taking, and that seems like that. Like there, and they failed. They made a higher low here, and now the question is, will it make a higher high right here, or get trapped and become like a triangle? Some type of adjustment. And you can see we're right on the edge of the weekly. The weekly is very close. And so that's the action we're seeing in these currencies. It's not aggressive. It's just consistent. That's all. Not aggressive, but consistent. All right. Oh, you like to see Bitcoin? Sure. Let's go look at the Bitcoin, the actual Bitcoin itself. I love it. I love the idea that I can do that. Let's see. I minimize this. We'll get the beta up on there. There it goes. There it is there. And let's show it to you on the screen. Where's that Bitcoin at? There it is right there. Let me scroll it up, and this way, right there. There we go. And let's scroll that up, and you'll be able to see it. There we are. Switch that over, and there it is, Bitcoin. I'll look for Ethereum. The cash Bitcoin, I think, is way more accurate. You can see this compared to like BTC or the ETFs. It's much more accurate. And you can see here It's been in that cell from here. You see that there? It went into the cell there. And it's been in a weekly cell for 3 full weeks. And look at this week. I thought that was interesting when I looked at that yesterday on the webinar. It showed the strength kicking out. It's trying to get into the daily buy. What is that right there? That is, let's see. So that's yesterday's move. We're not seeing today yet, but due to the fact that's live here, this is live right there. So in other words, there is the first, there's the second, today is the third. You see we're lifting up. It was lifting up yesterday, no doubt, and it was reflecting. It was trying to get into the buy yesterday, and it did. You can see isn't it above it? No, it's minus still. Is that minus? No, it's a plus. And let's see if we can just amplify that for you too. Yeah, see yesterday, the second, it went into the buy. And then you can see today we're getting strength again, so chances are it is up for a second day. Now, let's see. What was that one? I think you follow Ethereum, isn't it? So let's find Ethereum. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see, not that, not that. Right there. Let's take a look at that. All right, Ethereum. Ethereum. Ethereum Mini Trust. That looks interesting. Chicago. Let's see. Let me see if I can find the actual thing here. Hold on a second. Let me just look a little bit closer. Ethereum right there, like that. There's a grayscale Ethereum. That's the one I think I send you. Price, let's see, price prediction, price news. Let's see, Ethereum price. Okay, there we go. I think we got it. Now let's do this. Let's go like that, copy, and go over to here. Paste. Let's see, did I do that? Ethereum. Let's see if I go like that. Ethereum. Yeah, I think I've got it. Let's see. I think they have it. ETHUSD. So we just have to add that. That's no problem at all. I was wondering if we were going to be able to get that. Let's see. And we go to the administrator. Ticker symbol. Let's see. Add a ticker. CQT. And it is ETHUSD. ETH-USD. Save. Now I go back to there. Give it the little spinny thing. And there it is. Now let's see how it looks. Looks good, actually. Looks very good. See that? That's in a weekly sell now for 6 weeks. And let's see what I sent you on Friday. Let's see what that is. Minimize. Let's see what we sent you on Friday. There it is right there. And it's showing 3 weeks in a sell. Interesting. It did. See this where it got into the buy on the ETF. It rolled over. So that's pretty good. And we'll minimize that, and we go like. I'm going to try to be able to put that on the new beta. We're going to try to do that. Let's see. Let's go over to. Where am I at this point? What am I doing? Right there. Like that. And right there. Like that. There we are. So there's the Ethereum. You can see that. and it's been in a weekly sell since back in the last week of July, which is right here, I guess. The 20, it says the 29th, but it says there's the 28th. So it went into a weekly sell up in here, and the other ETF did the same thing. Let me see if I can go back to that a second. Minimize. There we are. And you can see the ETF did that too. Let's put that up there again. So it went into the sell back there also. Didn't it? Is that it? No, wait a minute. No, that's DAX. There it is. So it went into the weekly sell. It was in the weekly sell back in here in July. And then, I guess like 4 weeks ago, it went into a buy from the sell-off. That's what it did. Whereas on the, let's see, I'm going to get rid of that and bring this back up. And you can see, we can go like that. You can see right here, it's been in that sell for 7 weeks now. 7 full weeks. Yeah. And I think tomorrow, because of the holiday, we will see that, it's for some reason the old beta updates on Mondays, not Fridays. So this is last week. So it's full 7 weeks in a sell. And what was it on here? What's interesting? Look at that. This thing went into a sell 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9, 10. So out of the last 10 weeks, 9 weeks were in a sell. So this ETF is pretty good. Picked up the action at the last week of, it seems to be the same thing. Is it the last week of July? Let me put my glasses on. Okay, let's just take a look at that again. So there's, okay, yeah, we're in September, right. So it went into the weekly sell right up in here also. Right in here. The same way that it did on the cash. That's interesting. Because there is July. And so the 29th is like right in here. This is showing the 29th here. This is showing, I think that's the same thing. It's the 29th right there. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, 10 out of 11. So it's doing a pretty good job either way. They're keeping you on the right side of this, that's for sure. All right, let's go back to the chat line so I can see what everybody's talking about. And that's cool. We got the Ethereum now in there too with the cash. And that is the action. You see that right there. Yeah, this is the thing we send you, and this is the Ethereum itself, and it's just showing you, I guess we go like this. Let's see if we do this. There we go. So you can see there it it was in that buy for this ride up, and then finally went into the weekly sell right in here on this week right there. Right in there. Let's see. Let's just recycle it like that. There we are. All right. So we were looking at where we were at. We were looking at the yen. So let's zip back to the yen. And if you want to see anything else, just say it, and we'll show it to you. I think you look at DAX also. Let me just throw DAX up there while we're still in that neighborhood. There's the DAX today. You see, it was up yesterday on our day being closed, and then you can see today they're moving it back down again. We're starting to see pressure on it, and you can see yesterday they started putting pressure on it. Chances are it might be in a daily sell today, and then you can see here it's been in 3 weeks in a buy. That's one big spike, a lot of good action. So that could be a peak, just like that was a peak, and then it rolled over. This one here could be a peak. The markets are kind of week today, I guess you could say, in the equity markets. Nothing major, but they are selling them down a little bit. But they're in weekly buys still, like everything else. All right, from there, we got the yen up there. You can see the yen is trying to gain against the dollar today. You can see it's been 5 days now on a buy, and you can see the weekly is just on the edge at minus 0.04. Very close. Very, very, very close. What else can we say about any of that? I guess that's the name of that game. We move over to the Turkish lira. And we got all kinds of things now on the Turkish lira. We can even put up there's the stock index. And you can see today it's down a little bit, nothing major from yesterday's move. And you can see it's flirting with the weekly buy right there. Now, the stock index is totally different than the currency. The currency, has lots of issues. And you can see we are under, let's see, okay, so that's interesting. That's showing you all buys here, where we have on our older platform, we have it in a sell at this point. Let's just put it up there on the screen, and we'll flip over to it. And that is our old beta. It does a really good job on weeklies, and it does a fair job on the dailies. Let's go to, let's see, where's that? Let's switch it over on there. There, as you can see, we'll widen that out. You see it's been in that buy since back in here. It's like, what do we have on there? That's 3, there's 6, there's 9, there's 12, there's 15, and 3 more is 18. And on our spreadsheet, we have it set at 17, as you can see right there, or 17 days in a, oh, wrong one to do. Let's do it here. Right there. You can see it's 17 days in a sell, and this is the 3rd day in a sell. and because it's the, what do you call it? The, I guess we'll make that a 4-day. We'll adjust the currencies. We always do. We make the currencies. We don't do the others. We try not to get involved with them. But the currencies, they trade 24/7, so it's not hard to try to fix them much better than everything else. All right, and so there's the Turkish lira. They're doing that little dead cat bounce thing, which is fine. Nice to see the weekly try to roll over again, but when you're 17 weeks going on 18 weeks of a weekly buy, you really look for any signal that will try to tell you that they're finally topping out. It's amazing that we even got through the 40 area before it backed off. I'd imagine it's going to be a challenge over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Wouldn't be surprised to see us get into that 41.75 to 42.75 over the next couple of weeks. Like next 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. We'll see. As long as it's in a weekly buy and gets back into the daily buy, it's got a shot at it. Right now, it's in a weekly buy, but it's in a daily sell. So that's why I think it's not now. It's down the road in a few weeks. From there, we go over to. What do we go over to? We go over to the South African Rand. Is that where we go? Yeah, we go to South African Rand. There it is. And it's been bouncing up the last couple of days. Nothing major. But we've been really surprised how it bottomed here a couple of weeks back, 3 weeks back now. And it's tried to pick up, then it failed, and tried to pick up again here. And so when we look at gold itself, right, where is that? Let's find you gold. When you look at gold right there, you see it's in that same odd situation in reverse, which I'm surprised. I would have thought it would have been projecting strength, not weakness, because South African Rand was showing strength against the dollar. But they both have that mirror image thing. You can see there's gold, over the last 3 weeks, it's been basically sideways and going up and then failing. And then the South African Rand has done the reverse, gone up and failing. So to me, I want to say, the South African rand seems to me like it's still in the weekly sell here. Just because it jumped into the daily buy a few times up in here, it doesn't excite me that much. But I kind of think that it wants to do that. It does look like it wants to. The metals complex seems to be a little choked. I think they probably anticipated that lower interest rate, which always helps the metals market. But after that, it's like, oh well, now what can you do for me? You know what I mean? That seems to be the nature of it all. All right, excuse me. Whew. So from there, what we'll do is we'll take a look at silver, just like we saw how gold looked. And there's the gold, and you can see gold is just sideways and pushing down. And it's in daily sell, but still in that weekly buy now for. Let's just move the screen over a little bit. So we got 3, 6, 9. So we're going on a 10th week in the weekly buy. That's what we're doing. And I think we have to fix that one too on the. No, that's right. 10th week, right? And we have on our spreadsheet shows the 9th week, which is last week, which is fine. That's good right there. And you can see the 3 days of sells. Now in this case here, because of them adding that extra day, we'll see if that cleans itself up. If they remove it off the chart tomorrow, well then I will, we'll be fine. I won't have to fix the spreadsheet. That's why we wait for that. Only on the currencies do I know they will not remove the currency. The Monday will be there. They won't change it. That's because currencies are at 24/7, just like the way cryptos are 24/7. All right, now from there, we'll put silver up, give you a flavor of what's going on in silver. There we are. And silver, it's been in that daily sell, and it's only been in a weekly buy for 2 full weeks. And you can see it was in the middle of the week before, and then that was the first official. Really, it's the first official week, and then second week, and now we're dipping down more and more. If it goes down and takes out this 27 low, there's a good chance this thing finds its way back into the weekly sell. So we'll keep close eyes on that. That's still $1.60 away, basically. So. But we have seen how silver has had its problems getting through the $30 area. Remember, traders, you're welcome to put anything up on the chat line. We'll go check it out. I just go through this rhythm because it makes it easier. This way I have an agenda. Here's copper. Copper was acting like they really wanted to try to lift it up. It got into the weekly buy here. You see that. And now it's already moving into the weekly sell. It's showing that pressure there, which is interesting. And you can see there, just that weakness. All right, now from the copper, I'm going to throw that in a saved workspace. I'm going to update that too, like that. There we are. And then from there, we'll go take a look at platinum. And platinum has been in a sell for a few days. It's closed in the weekly sell last week. It's rolling over already. That usually is a good guidepost to gold. So every time it tries, you can see here, it was in the weekly sell throughout that. Went into the weekly buy with that right here when gold went back into the weekly buy. But platinum is telling us that there's not real buyers out there. It just isn't that much buying going on. Okay, so there's the magic to platinum. Now I'm looking at that and it's showing me a weekly buy. I guess I need to go check that out. We'll have to look that up and see what's going on there with the I'll do that after the webinar. There's no reason to tangle these up. And then tomorrow you'll be able to see what we came up with, because it's the October contract. Now from there, we go over to the energy sector, which now I can show you Brent, which makes me awful happy too. Here is crude oil. You see crude oil is broken the 72 area. It closed in the weekly sell last week. And then, let's see, we'll go over to here. Show you crude oil the same way. There is crude. You see there, that's the weekly. And you can see here it's in a weekly sell now for a bunch of weeks on the beta. See, that's why we like the beta. It has a really good weekly read. You can see here we went into a weekly buy on, oh, you're not seeing what I'm looking at here. You see we went into the weekly buy here and then right back into the sell. Now, here is the beta, the old beta that shows us all those products. Because we can show you coffee and cocoa and sugar and all kinds of things like that in that. And so you see it there, there's coffee. But anyway, this is, and we can show you Brent, and that's nice. You can see it's in a weekly sell, and you can see it's in a daily sell, and there's pressure on it. All right. All right. So let's show you Brent. And there's the Brent. See the same thing? It's getting knocked down. Where's that at? It's down to 75, is it? 74.49 is the low today. It's trading right now at 75.25. So they're really putting pressure onto that. And at the same time, there's a weekly. You know, it's still in a weekly sell. It's been in that weekly sell with a lot of pressure on it for a while now. Just like the West Texas Intermediate. Both of them have been in weekly sells right there again. There's the West Texas Intermediate doing the same thing in the sells. They match very well together. They usually follow each other. And the only difference in the why there's a bigger premium is transportation costs, because it's, you know, it's out in the ocean for Brent. And it's more expensive to bring in. From there, we go over to natural gas. Let's put natural gas in. And you know, we've been looking at the heating oil too, which is really nice. There's natural gas, and then we'll jump over to heating oil. Because heating oil, that product is used on the airplanes, commercial airplanes, and, you know, trucks, diesel engine trucks, and diesel engine cars, and then it's used to heat houses here in the Northeast. It's very popular. And you can see here, natural gas is trying to climb into the weekly buy. Let's give it up on the screen there for you. There it is right there. Natural gas is trying to climb into the weekly buy. There's some strength there. At the same time, the daily has rolled over in the last 20 minutes. Or let's say the last hour. This morning it was plus. I think we have an actual chart of it when we sent it out this morning. It was plus. There it is right there. Yeah, it was just plus by the hair of its chinny chin chin. Let's just show you that. See that right there? That's the natural gas. It was just in the plus 0.0027, and you can see the weekly was, you know, trying to climb into the buy. And then when we go to it live, let's remove this now. You can see over here, it's just on the edge of 0.000004, and the daily is now piercing through, and it's minus 0.0413. So they're putting pressure on the natural gas now in a good way. You know, we want it to go down. It's cheaper, and we're going into colder weather. You know, we don't want to see people having to spend much money on the energy for heat, you know. From there, I'll show you heating oil. And there's the heating oil. And it's really making that dip also right there, down to $2.23 a gallon. That's a gallon. Or, a liter, I guess you could say. What's it? Liters? Let me just go with that ratio. Liter to gallon. One liter is a quarter of a gallon, so basically almost 4 liters makes a gallon. And so 1 liter, I guess you could say is, well, a gallon is 2.223 basically. So we're looking at 0.26. So you just divide basically by 4. So a liter of heating oil is about 57 cents. Not bad. During Mr. Trump's years, the liter was, what did I say, 57 cents? The liter was as low as 17 cents under Mr. Trump. Yeah, pretty wild, eh? It's really like 3.8. I guess what is it? Was it 3 point? So 1 liter is 2.6. So 3 liters would be, yeah. So it's like 3.78. But in the end result, is 4 liters the same as a gallon? No, it's not. It's a little bit more than a gallon. It's like 1.06 gallons. Not bad. It's very close. It's very close. So from there, that's the heating oil, which I think is well worth always paying attention to, since airplanes, trucks delivering food, and some people actually heating their houses with the stuff. All right. So from there, where did we get to? Let's go take a look at. So that's the I guess that's the end of the energies, basically. That's what it comes down to. That's the end of the energies. All right. So from there, we can take a look at some of the stock indices. And I started off the conversation today about China, playing their games with one of their, I guess you could say, one of their hosts, or they host China. China hosts Apple in China. And they're beating up on the company a little bit there by allowing Huawei to go international now. You can see here's the Shanghai. Let's put that up on the screen. Remember, traders, if you want to see something, just say it. We'll put it up on the screen here. You can see they're breaking out, taking out 7-month lows now. You see it's pushing, went into the sell yesterday, and you can see we've been in a weekly sell now for going on 7 weeks, heading for 8. So there's pressure on that product. Let's see, there's 52 weeks in a year, so we're really looking at basically every, what's it, 12 weeks, 48. So every 13 weeks, basically. Every 13 weeks, so we're at 8. Will it be a whole quarter of the year in the sell? I'd say probably so. I have a hard time believing when you see that weekly down the way it is. It tried to bounce. You can see where they tried to bounce it there, and they had this big spike. It went from we'll emphasize this like that. It went from moved down to a low of, it broke the 2800, I guess, didn't it? Yeah, it broke the 2800. No, it didn't. It got down to 2817, and so now it's it has broken the 28, and we'll just exemplify that. There it is. You see, yesterday with nobody around in the United States, they broke the 28 area, and today they are down to where's that at now? Right there. The low today is 27.90, almost 95, basically a little under 95, 94.9. It's a small index, and so smaller numbers mean more. I guess not more, but it just down 10 points means a lot. I went to see the Ronald Reagan movie on over the weekend, and I remember the day that he was shot. It was like March. He had been in office for like 3 months, and I remember the day he got shot. On the trading floor, it was like about an hour and a half before the markets closed, or something like that. A half hour. It was late afternoon. I think back in those days we used to close at 3 o'clock, and we opened up at 10 o'clock. It was only a 5-hour trading day, and the market took a dip. The Dow, I think, was at like 900, and it dropped 30 points, which back then 30 points is a big number when your index is at 900. The Dow Jones Industrial Average now is at like 40,000, 41,000, something like that. So it was a real push down, and 30-point move, major move. I mean, a 1% move would have been 90 points. So no, I'm sorry, not one. A 10% move would have been 90 points. So it was like a 3% drop, which was pretty wild, especially it was actually like 29.78 or something like that. It was, and it was like in the last, maybe it was the last half hour of the day. So the markets were, what's going to happen tomorrow? But by the next day, President Reagan was waving out of a window, and he was doing fine. I guess it was about 2 or 3 days he was able to get up and walk around. So, and so that's really the answer there. So, when you look at the stock indices, they're having their problems. The country is in deep trouble. They've lost some major corporations and domestic corporations, and now Yahweh is trying to branch out internationally to compete with Apple. So, just tells you, they're cash strapped. They're hungry. They'll sell you everything and anything, basically. All right. So from there, let's take a look at. We saw Nikkei. There's Nikkei. No, that's right. We didn't look at Nikkei. You can see just a little weakness today. You can see it's in a buy for 2 full weeks, going on a 3rd week now, showing its strength. Taiwan. Let's go over to Kospi in Hong Kong. South Korea. They're talking about a 4-day work week, and you can see here last week pushed it into the weekly buy. So you can see the strength that's still trying to come out of that big unwind. Every Asian and some of the European markets really, and the U.S. market, emphasized the unwind that happened. You can see that big drop, going from 2,800, or where you could say even 2,900, fell all the way down to 2,400. And for like the Nikkei, you can see it went from 42,000 down to 31,000. Pretty dramatic. That's a 25% drop. And then you can see Taiwan did the same thing. It came down from the almost to 20. Is that 25,000 there? See what that is. 24,400. And you can see that went from 24,400 down to 19,006. That's a heck of a drop, And then now they're rallying back. They're building a base. It's starting to look like a reverse head and shoulders, where they're going to climb back up to their highs by the end of the year. And let's put it this way: if Mr. Trump gets elected, more than likely they will. They'll fly along. All right. From there, we slide over to. Let's see, who do we have there? Do we have the Singapore STI? We've kind of stopped paying attention to the Hang Seng since they're both locked to the dollar, and since they're both locked to the dollar, there's not much to really care about. Let's do this. We'll go over to Jakarta instead. We'll just head right south. There's Jakarta. You see, Jakarta had that same dip, but they looked at that as a buying opportunity. Look at that. They've taken out those highs of early July, and they are well above it there by like 300 points. Really impressive. Almost 400 points at this point. And you can see it's been in a weekly buy now. Let's see what this, I guess it was a weekly buy. Let's try this. Let's see how it does it. That went into a weekly sell, I think. Yeah, weekly sell. That's in a weekly buy. That's in a weekly buy. And that's in a weekly buy. Okay, so there we are. So it's been in a buy for 6 full weeks now since that low. And boy, has it rolled. You can see the dailies are like that too. What was that? That was August 4th. There is August. Where's August 4th? Right there. Basically, there's August 4th. There's August 6th, 7th, and then by the 8th, it jumps. The 8th it jumps into a buy. You have one sell there. You have two sells there, and you have. That's it. It's just pushing. Now, yesterday they pushed it into the sell. Yesterday, and it's in there again today, so it'll be a second day in a sell, and probably tomorrow if we look at this product, you'll probably see the weekly heading down, not minus, just topping out a little bit in there. From there, we're going to go take a look at we go to the Nifty 50, see what they're doing in India, right there. There's the Nifty 50. Nifty 50 showing a little weakness, but it's at all-time high, so not bad there. And at the same time, you can see this situation too. It's been a weekly buy for months. And then from there, we go to Saudi Arabia. There it is. And you can see right there, the Saudi Arabia's oil company is in a weekly buy. It's trying to get into the weekly buy from last week. That's interesting. Ever since they floated that stock, it's been in they sold more stock back in July, I guess it was. And so July 22nd in here, it went into the weekly sell, and it drifted all the way down into the 26s. Now we've backed and bounced back up, and then it pushed it into again a sell down into the high 27, mid 27s. It's hanging out there. When they floated the new stock, it was I believe it was 30. I think that's what it was 30. So not too bad there. Good move. $100 billion worth of new stock was sold. Smart move, no doubt about that. Yep. All right, and then from there we'll go over to the other major financial power over there, and that is Tel Aviv. And there's the Tel Aviv index, another small index, really, only 2,000. And you can see there it's been in a weekly buy for a lot of weeks, really. You're looking at 3 there, then 1 week in a sell, and then 6, 8. It's 8 out of the last 9 weeks, and it looks like it's in a buy this week too. So 8 out of 9. So 9 out of 10 weeks now it's in a buy, and we'll see that on the chart tomorrow, where it's a plus situation. And then from there we'll go to the Stoke 50. Where's the Stoke 50? Then we go into Europe and look at that, and there's the Stoke 50. You see there showing a lot of buying in that at the same time, and 3 full weeks in a weekly buy. And it's had a wonderful rally since this unwind of the Japanese pairs trade. And then from there we go to the DAX, and we saw the DAX earlier. We were showing you. Let's put the DAX up there. Where's the DAX? There it is right there. DAX is looking the same way. 3 solid weeks in a buy. And this week starting off should be still in a weekly buy when we come up on the screen tomorrow. And then from there, we go to the CAC 40 in Paris. I know it's here somewhere. There it is right there. And you can see that same situation, like 3 days in a buy. And we're 3 weeks in a buy, and we'll see how they play out. Should be about the same as the DAX. It should be still in the weekly buy. And then the FTSE is showing a little bit more weakness. You can see it's pressed into the sell yesterday. And you got 4 weeks in a weekly buy. It's going to start turning down pretty quick if we stay down here today and tomorrow. Tomorrow might actually show us just a very small weekly buy, and then by the end of the week it might be really pressing down. All right, traders, we're out of here. Let's look at the world, and let's see if anybody said anything. I don't see any questions or anything. Let me put the title in here again because my phone won't be running until tomorrow, so I can't use that system we had up. Same phone number and all, so everything's fine. You don't have to do anything. It's my side that has to change. So title today, putting it on the chat line, and then what we see is, I guess yesterday was like China. It was like something weak, something strong, and today it's like China weak. Will world join? There's a lot of pressure on them. That's going to be interesting. That's a really good question. I mean, you can see all the markets are really moving down right now. So, all right, traders, this is Doc from North America. Catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. And I should be able to use my phone tomorrow so I can put my titles back into it. So I'm happy with that. So this is Doc saying happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends.